Hello, right, I'm just going to quickly run through some of the bits you need for a scorpion, which is a lot more complicated than you might already think. First off, you need a tank. I've got a 67 litre Fulva fish tank. Now the reason I've gone for a fish tank is one, they'll get rid of it for free, and two, it's got a glass bottom, which means I can have a heat mat. If I can have a heat mat, I don't have to fucking worry about nasty ass light bulbs using 9 million watts of energy every minute. So you use the heat mat to keep the temperature stable inside the terrarium. And it is a terrarium, it's not a vivarium. Terrarium. Now, obviously my scorpion is an Asian forest scorpion, meaning it grew up in jungles in its natural habitat. So to create a natural habitat, I have some spider life for a scorpion, don't ask. And as it says, blended substrate to simulate your spider's natural habitat. Now, I know it's got spiders and crap all over it, but it's exactly the same for scorpions. They're both tropical, they're both jungle creatures. In fact, you actually often see a spider fight a scorpion. Now, that's another story. Anyway, so basically, if you have a quick look, it's mud. That's the easiest way of saying it. It's mud. Special blend apparently, but it's mud. Now to replicate, obviously in a jungle you've got felled trees and leaves and stuff, so I've got here basically very small fine bark chunks. You wouldn't want to cover the whole floor in bark obviously. And then obviously to also replicate a jungle, I've bought myself a little vine. Now I've bought silk plants rather than real. If you get real, then you have to mess around with UV bulbs and everything and make sure it's perfect heat for the plants to grow, and also they can grow out of control and you have to trim them. And so to save all of that hassle, I went for silk plants. There's a good thing about these over, well, basically the same as a standard real plant, is that when you mist it, being a jungle, it's got quite high humidity. When you mist inside the tank, water can actually accumulate on the leaves and dribble down, and the scorpion can drink off the leaves. So it does help create a natural habitat. And obviously also in the jungle, you got sticks and you got rocks. Now this rock is a special rock. It's actually plastic. Great! Plastic rock, you know, because it's got to be really realistic. You've got a nice little opening there. It also doubles as a hide, because scorpions would naturally hide under rocks and felled branches and stuff in the wild, so it just gives it a little place, like a little home if you like. And quickly move on, I've also got another little hide, and this is even smaller, and it's basically a coconut. There's no other way of saying it. It is a coconut. I don't know why it's got a little hole there and those two are actually filled in, but yeah. And the reason why you have two hides is so that the scorpion, obviously your heat mat will only cover about half of the tank. It's meant to do that. The reason is so that if for whatever reason you're out, I don't know, doing your shopping or going to the local prostitute on the street corner, the scorpion can regulate its own body temperature, because being an arachnid, it doesn't have sweat glands. It can't, you know, just start sweating and regulate its heat temperature. So what it'll do is, say for example this is on the hot side, it'll come out here, walk across the other side of the tank where there is no heat mat, and it'll go into the little cool house. So it has basically a hot house and a cold house, and that way it enables the scorpion all by itself to regulate its heat temperature. Cool, hey? Yeah, I've learnt a lot bloody buying a scorpion. Well, I wouldn't say it's a lot, but you know what I mean. Obviously, your standard water dish, and little. Which one's this one? This one is a hygrometer or a hydrometer, and this basically tells me how humid it is. Your average scorpion, my scorpion, needs between sort of 70 and 80% humidity. Obviously, that's roughly replicating a jungle, and this is your thermometer, or thermometer, yeah, it's great. And as you can see, right now in my living room, as we speak, I do have the heating on, but it's around about 63, 65 degrees centigrade. Or if you're American or Imperial, I can't read it. Let me just read it with my own eyes. No, sorry, 60. Yeah, if you're American, it's about 65 degrees. If you're English or continental, it's just shy of 20 degrees. Just shy of 20. So you got your heat meter and your humidity meter. Obviously, it lets you see at a quick glance what sort of conditions are inside the terranium. Now, when you put it all together, you know, all of the substrate and water. Yeah, water. I didn't say about water. You got the water dish. Now, you can feed it tap water, but I've heard that it's safer to buy this, which is bug gel. It's basically gelified water. It's pretty pure. You know, you're not really going to get purer than that out of the tap. The whole reason you get the gel instead of the water is so that, let's say the scorpion jumps in its little bowl and you've got this stuff in there, it can't drown. It can walk across the water and everything's fine. And it just sucks up the gel a bit like, you know, a bit like jelly. It just sucks it up. So it still gets a drink, but at the same time it doesn't drown. Because the last thing you want to do is spend hundreds of pounds on a scorpion and then the little thing crawls in here and dies because it drowned. So rather than my scorpion possibly drowning, obviously it all depends on how high you put the water. I can't be bothered because I'm a lazy git. I got the gel. And then that way I can put in as much as I like. It doesn't drown and it can have as much watery jelly fun as it wants. So, you know, after all of this, so the heat mat and all of the little plants and, oh yes, the heat mat runs on a thermostat, and this is the thermostat. Now these brands, I don't know if you've noticed the brand makes. I've only bought these brands because one, they were recommended on Google, and two, I thought the price was pretty damn good. I haven't bought them because I think they're absolutely excellent. I haven't bought them because I'm sponsored by them or anything silly like that. I've bought them purely because I've done my research, and these are the makes that have come back as good and of a fair price. Obviously you've got a little water bottle. I do suggest buying a brand new water bottle because of infections and various chemicals in your, I don't know, multi-surface cleaner bottle or whatever. Get a brand new bottle. Just saves all the hassle of trying to rinse it out, clean it out and blah blah blah. Just get a new water bottle. For the sake of £3, it saves a hell of a lot of hassle, and that you use to mist it up to help with the humidity. And again, the bark and the substrate, they help hold the moisture as well. You can get different. Say if you've got a desert scorpion, you'd get different substrate and bark. You probably wouldn't even get bark. You'd just get, you know, pebbles or whatever. And again, the plants, you wouldn't get plants. You'd probably still get the wood, but you wouldn't necessarily get plants. You'd get or a different type of plant. Now, obviously, all of this, all pretty expensive. As I said, like the whole setup, excluding the actual animal and the food, we're pushing about £210 in total. Now, obviously, you can buy it in parts, so you get those two together, and then you'd go out and buy, I don't know, those two, and then you'd go out and buy those two, you know, so you can spread the cost out. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have a really good credit level, I suppose you could just go out and get it all on HP, but I personally don't agree with that. If you haven't got the money, you can't afford it. And, Dave! Oh my God! What's happened to you, Dave? I mean, oh my God, Dave. I mean, what the hell? You alright, mate? No, I bet you're not. No, I mean, you've lost teeth. I mean, oh my God, Dave, you got no brains. Dave's got no brains. And you can get silly little items like this. You know, it helps create the, oh, I'm a scorpion, I'm going to kill you, when really it's no worse than a bee sting. Well, my particular genus is no worse than a bee sting, but you can get deadly, like a fat tail scorpion or deathstalker. They can actually kill you. It takes multiple stings, but as I said, you know, you can get good old Dave here, and it helps sort of create like an atmosphere to say, look at me, I'm deadly. Anyway, that's just an added extra. You don't need a skull, and to be honest, I don't think there is any skulls in the jungle. But hey ho, again, it's all about atmosphere. Anyways, so that's pretty much runs down the scorpion setup. The next video I will actually be making the scorpion terranium. Bye!